Now then, Ross, next up we have probably the whiskey that's in contention for worst graphic design of all time.
It's so bad it's almost cool in 2024.
I mean, that's a very hipster thing to say,
Isn't
but
it?
I kind of agree with you. So this is a bottling of Longrow, which is great.
Yeah, distillery that we both love, yeah.
Yeah, Longrow is obviously distilled at Springbank, but is heavily peated.
Yeah.
First ever distillate of Longrow, I think, was 1973. This was distilled 1987 and bottled in 1999. So 12 years old, bottled by Moon Import, who loved Microsoft Paint or clip art or
Yeah.
whatever. But the labels were very distinctive.
Yeah,
shall we say.
really interesting. Bottled at 45% as well. What I love about Longrow is it has all the authenticity of being made at Springbank, everything done on site, but it is so remarkably different. The distillate is so much dirtier, heavier, more unique. I've not been to Springbank. I'm very gutted. It's still one that's really high up on my list, but I've tried quite a lot of Longrow. I've been quite lucky. I've tried a few different expressions and a few years of their 21, which kind of changes with casks every year as well, which I think is quite fun. I like that Springbank have the same presentation, same bottle. They don't tell you the casks have changed, but it has.
Yeah.
And it kind of tailed off the last few years, in my opinion. But to try a retro bottle like this, it's fun.
Longrow for you is obviously Springbank is known for being quite not difficult, but sort of full of character
It's
and
an
quite
all-rounder,
quirky
yeah.
and lots of sort of coastal salinity and kind of smoky, but not.
I think
peated.
it is truly the all-round. It's the most rounded whiskey, and it's sweet, it's smoky, it's spicy. It's got a little bit of everything. It's got a coastal influence, whereas Longrow is a little bit more unapologetic. It's a little bit more, this is smoke, this is Campbelltown smoke, which is quite an interesting thing to talk about in comparison to Isla smoke. I'm really interested to see what this is going to be like. 1999, great year I was born.
Shut up, Ross.
It should be quite
Showing off your youth.
should be quite interesting. Presumably bourbon cask as well.
You'd imagine so. This particular one was bottled by Moon Import, who are an Italian importer and distributor. They were very much sort of involved with cask of single malt whiskey before single cask single malt was a thing. So kind of visionaries of the industry. For those that are familiar with Samaroli, Moon Import can be talked about in the same breath.
I mean, it's amazing that this has been in the bottle for 25 years, and now we've somehow landed the opportunity to open it and try it. I'm nervous about the cork. We've opened a lot of these Moon Import and Samaroli bottlings, and they've been a little bit funny.
Yeah, cork's going to be a bit temperamental.
Fingers crossed. We're going to be
the liquid though is generally pretty good.
Yeah.
I think looking at the fill level of this, it's nearly in the neck, so you'd hope there's not been too much oxidation. But
what's your experience with Longrow? Have you had much of it?
My experience is it's quite rugged. But I feel for those who love Longrow, that's what they love.
That's what they like about it, yeah. And you drink more peated whiskey than I do. I imagine that it's not really. I would say it can be a bit of a challenge for me, Longrow. I'm quite looking forward to just having an example that I would assume is not a very big vatting or a kind of smaller batch release. Right, so it's not going to be too cask influenced. Good luck with the cork.
You ready to watch the cork disintegrate?
I'm really optimistic here.
Here we go.
I feel okay about this.
Oh, this is a miracle.
The context for this is, this is.
I mean, that's excellent. That's excellent technique. Thank you very much.
I'm so delighted.
Well, thank you very much, everybody. That is an absolute
amazing.
triumph.
Hallelujah.
That has been a rare occurrence for us, actually. Getting a cork out in one piece.
I'm delighted. Absolutely delighted.
Right. Longrow, for you, what's your experience? Probably not up your street.
Not
for somebody who doesn't love kind of dirty,
not my go-to
whiskey
style. I've been really interested with the variations I've been able to try so far. This is so coastal on the nose.
Reminds me of Bevvy from the.
A little farmyardy.
It's very farmyardy.
For me, it's like wet hay on the nose. Like it's really like by the sea. Not in a way. No, for me it is in a good way, and it's not an overwhelming peat that I'm getting from the nose either. The smoke is there, but it's so coastal, almost salty on the nose, which is something I've always heard people talk about with Talisker and Pulteney, and I've never really got it. But this is like fish and chips by the sea. It really is.
For me, it's very farmyard. I think it's...
You're getting more kind of herbal...
I'm sort of struggling with the nose. I think people who love Springbank, who know that there's a peated variant called Longrow, are going to be all over this because they can identify what it is. But in terms of a tasty dram, I'm sort of struggling with this a little bit.
Here, for me, the nose is getting a little bit sweeter. I actually really like the nose, which is interesting because this is a dram that I thought you would love, that I would struggle with. How we go on the palate, see what we think. Great texture as well. Really viscous, chewy. Okay, there's a lot of peat on the palate.
Yeah, that is...
Bottled at 45%, I think it drinks well, but...
Do you think? I think it's quite
You think it's quite rough? This is interesting, yeah. For me, the smoke's a bit overwhelming for me. I don't get an overall kind of like overwhelming ethanol or too much spirit from it. But it's really, really kind of an ashy bonfire smoke.
Yeah, I don't know whether it's that smokiness or the ABV that's a bit like... It's kind of knocking me for 6. But it's, it's not easy drinking.
No, it's what I think Longrow drinkers want from this. As you said, a kind of dirty ruggedness.
It's quite agricultural, isn't it?
I think the palate certainly delivers that. I can't imagine this being all that popular in Italy in the 1999.
No,
I suppose
Italy obviously has a history of, grappa, which is very sort of light and fruity and quite kind of approachable.
And the most popular whiskies have generally been Ballantyne, Chivas, and then malts, Glengrant.
Yeah, and young Glengrant as well.
The five-year-old, which was light and crisp and approachable for the Italian summer. This is quite dirty and rugged and in your face and classic Campbelltown with an extra oomph.
Yeah, I can imagine this being a huge hit with
the whiskey,
the Gothenburg Whiskey Club. Yeah, something that love. People who love smoky, rugged, young...
I think this must have been, the Dreams collection. We know how valuable they are now on the secondary market. This kind of collection of Moon Import bottlings. This would have been for your kind of whiskey aficionado even back then, I think. Isn't it really? I'm surprised. I'm coping with it okay, but it is full on. For me, in a positive sense.
Yeah, really farmyardy. I think, I don't know, I feel like the finish lingers, but not necessarily in an enjoyable way for me.
Yeah, I mean,
it's still quite strong. For me, it's got that slight kind of sulphury, burnt rubber finish.
Yeah, I get the burnt rubber. I think it's not my style of whiskey, but I am enjoying it. It's probably the first time ever we've sat with a peated whiskey that I've preferred more than you, which probably isn't a big compliment to it because it's unusual for me to like it.
Yeah, I think with the whiskey, there's really a time and a place. You need to be in the mood for it.
To be in the sea by the smell. Honestly, I think it's so close though.
Yeah, you need to be waist deep in a peat bog.
But I mean, it really is quite intense. Really interesting to try this 1987 Longrow. How it's even ended up here in 2024 for us to drink it is awesome.
Yeah, it's a real privilege. I think people who say, all whiskey should be drunk straight away.
Yeah.
So I can see, the merits in that. But if everybody drank every whiskey they ever got, we wouldn't have the chance to try this today.
And at the same time, we're still arguing that whiskey is for drinking because here we are opening these bottles anyway,
Yeah, I think it's a full-bodied whiskey. It's got loads of character.
I think a Longrow drinker would love it.
Yeah. I think obviously the worst thing I could ever say about whiskey is that it's boring and forgettable. And this is not boring or forgettable.
100%.
I think for certain palates it'd be fantastic.
For a certain moment, yeah.
For a certain moment, it's a big whiskey. Maybe I'm just in the mood for something sort of light and fruity and space ID and
I'm obviously feeling more confident than I normally do.
Yeah,
pretending that I like this heavily peated whiskey.
Who is this man I'm with?
Cheers.
But yeah, a good dram, a nice example of what Moon Import
have done. Bottler.
Yeah, really, really good. But it's quite big. It's quite big. But yeah, if you love that sort of thing,
if you like Longrow,
right up your street.
this is for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice.
Oh yeah, cheers.
Cheers.
If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more Bevvy content. We want to hear what you think, your best whiskey experiences, the whiskies you want to try. It's a really exciting journey we're on, so make sure to join us. Download the Bevvy app on Google Play and App Store to keep track of your whiskey journey, connect with your whiskey friends, keep track of your favourites, anything you could ever want to do with whiskey, all in one place. It's the definitive whiskey companion.